Finally, we have an arch, a triumphal arch, the Arch of Constantine. These were built to commemorate great men, great battles in the history of Rome. There would have been numerous examples. The Arch of Titus comes to mind, but there are several others. And in this case, this commemorates the defeat of Maxentius at Milvian Bridge. And here we see a mix of styles and traditions made up of spoils, but also interestingly made up of elements that come to us from other arches. They're actually borrowing or stealing from other arches. So in this case, we see specific monuments built to Trajan, Hadrian, Marcus Aurelius, refashioned. The heads are cut to incorporate Constantine's features. And here, colorized, you see elements that come from other arches or other places that are added in. It's interesting because typically an arch would be built out of new materials. It would be a new structure. And here they're borrowing from everywhere else. We do see some new relief. So for example, in the upper left, that's one of the spoils that they take from somewhere else. But what we see below on the lower right is the shallow relief, which shows the distribution of largesse to the citizens. In other words, giving them money, food, etc. And this is the spoils of war. They're being shared. Constantine is trying to hold on to power, and one of the ways to do that in Rome is to not have the citizenry rise up against you. What we have is a majestic form with Constantine elevated on the throne. But if you look at the figures, this piece being carved at the time, what you see is something where the figures are squat and identical. There's no attempt to create individual likenesses. The bodies are out of proportion. The heads are far too large. And what we get is something that's mechanical, that's repetitious. It's like a snapshot. But at the end of the day, it also shows us the decline in art at the time, possibly because there just aren't that many artists at the time. Most of them having gone into other fields because there isn't that much in the way of commissions, so there's no competition, so you don't need to be as good. It could be a lack of resources. If I'm being paid far less than my predecessors for a piece, I'm going to spend less time on it. There's a lot of possibilities going in here, but it does show a general decline of Rome. Now, this is not the last time we will talk about Rome. We will return to it after the midterm because I'm splitting this class between sort of the pagan ancient world and Christianity. And so we're going to be introducing Christianity and returning to the very late empire after the midterm.